Sri Lanka's army soldiers and police personnel stand near a vandalised building in Digana, a suburb of Kandy. Extremists' Buddhist mob swept through the town on Monday, burning at least 11 Muslim-owned shops and homes. Sri Lanka's president declared a state of emergency Tuesday amid fears that anti-Muslim attacks in the central hill town could spread. Chinese President Xi Jinping arrives for the opening of the first session of the 13th National People's Congress (NPC) at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing. The NPC has over 3,000 delegates and is the world's largest parliament or legislative assembly, though its function is largely as a formal seal of approval for the policies fixed by the leaders of the Chinese Communist Party. The NPC runs alongside the annual plenary meetings of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference (CPPCC), together known as Liang Ui, or two meetings. A female protester stands up with the words "Berlusconi sei scaduto" written on her body, translating as "Berlusconi, you've expired," as Silvio Berlusconi stands during voting of the political and regional elections in Milan, Italy. Russian President Vladimir Putin delivers a speech during a rally to support his bid in the upcoming presidential election at Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow. Reuters: a light turns red outside of Germany's Krupp-Mannesmann steel factory. German officials and industry groups warned U.S. President Donald Trump that he risks sparking a trade war with his closest allies if he goes ahead with plans to impose steep tariffs on steel and aluminium imports. People dance during Holi festival celebrations in Kathmandu, Nepal. Indian fans watch as the funeral procession of the late Bollywood actress Sridevi Kapoor passes through Mumbai. AFP: Getty candles are left in tribute to murdered Slovakian investigative reporter Jan Kuciak, 27, and his fiancée Martina, 27, at Slovak National Uprising Square in Bratislava. A leading Slovak newspaper says organized crime may have been involved in the shooting death that shocked Slovakia. The bodies of Kuciak and Kuznirova were found Sunday evening in the house in the town of Velika Maka, east of the capital. Colosseum during a heavy snowfall in Rome, Italy. Reuters: Alberto Lingria family members of victims of the sunken South Korean naval ship Cheonan by a North Korean attack hold up defaced portraits of Kim Jong-chol, vice chairman of North Korea's ruling Workers' Party Central Committee, during a rally against his visit near the Unification Bridge in Paju, South Korea. A North Korean high-level delegation led by Kim arrived to attend the closing ceremony of the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. The signs read, "Let's punish Kim Jong-chol." Getty: Ivanka Trump C. cheers while sat between former Olympic U.S. bobsledders Shauna Roebuck L. and Valerie Fleming R. as the United States beat Sweden in the men's gold medal curling match at the Gangneung Curling Center in Gangneung, South Korea. Ivanka Trump is on a 4-day visit to South Korea to attend the closing ceremony of the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. Getty: David Allen Turpin C., who along with Louise-Anna Turpin is accused of abusing and holding 13 of their children captive, appears in court with attorneys David Macker L. and Allison Lowe in court in Riverside, California. According to Riverside County sheriffs, David Allen Turpin and Louise-Anna Turpin held 13 malnourished children ranging in age from 2 to 29 captive in the Perris, California home. Deputies were alerted after a 17-year-old daughter escaped by jumping through a window shortly before dawn, carrying a deactivated mobile phone from which she was able to call 911 for help. Responding deputies described conditions in the home as foul-smelling, with some kids chained to a bed and suffering injuries as a result. Adult children appeared at first to be minors because of the malnourished state. The Turpins were arrested on charges of torture and child endangerment. Getty: the Elephanta Island, home to the famous Elephanta Caves, finally gets electricity after a wait of 70 years. 70 years after independence, a 7.5 kilometers long undersea cable has finally brought electricity to the world-famous Garapuri Isle, which houses the UNESCO World Heritage Site Elephanta Caves, about 10 km from Mumbai, India. Getty: Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau pays his respects at the Sikh Golden Temple in Amritsar. Trudeau and his family are on a week-long official trip to India. Getty: members of the Syrian Civil Defense evacuate an injured civilian on a stretcher from an area hit by a reported regime airstrike in the rebel-held town of Sakbar, in the besieged eastern Ghouta region on the outskirts of the capital Damascus. AFP Getty. A Thai Navy instructor demonstrates how to catch a snake during a jungle survival exercise as part of the Cobra Gold 2018 CG-18 joint military exercise with U.S. soldiers at a military base in Chonburi Province, Thailand. Reuters. Children play outside the destroyed school in the Frike village in Idlib, northwestern Syria. A pro-Kurd demonstrator attends a protest demanding the release of the Kurdistan Workers' Party (PKK) leader Abdullah Öcalan in Strasbourg, France. Joseph Oloni mourns in front of a cross placed in a park to commemorate the victims of the shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, in Parkland, Florida. Reuters. South Africa's new president Cyril Ramaphosa holds up his right hand as he is sworn into office. AFP Getty. The African National Congress's ANC Treasurer General Paul Mashatile left, and Parliamentary Chief Whip Jackson Mthembu address a media briefing after an emergency ANC caucus meeting on the 14th of February in Cape Town. South Africa's parliament will hold a vote of no confidence in President Jacob Zuma on the 15th of February, the ruling ANC party said, signaling its determination to eject him from office after days of stalemate. AFP. North Korean cheerleaders are surrounded by media as they attempt to walk on Gyeongpo Beach in Gangneung, South Korea. AFP Getty. Former U.S. President Barack Obama unveils his portrait at the Smithsonian's National Portrait Gallery in Washington, D.C. AFP Getty. U.S. Vice President Mike Pence and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's sister Kim Yo-jong attend the opening ceremony of the Pyeongchang 2018 Winter Olympic Games. AFP Getty. Bangladesh police charge towards activists of the Bangladesh Nationalist Party protesting following a verdict against opposition leader Khaleda Zia in Dhaka. The ex-Prime Minister of Bangladesh was jailed for 5 years on corruption charges. AFP Getty. Rescue services search for people in a damaged building in eastern Taiwan after a magnitude 6.4 earthquake hit Hualien on the night of 6 February 2018. Media reports said several buildings were damaged and at least 4 people were killed and some 100 were injured during the quake. Teams are trying to rescue people inside the buildings. Some bridges and roads are damaged and the main road to Hualien is closed. More than 100 earthquakes have hit off Taiwan's east coast in the past 3 days. The Seismological Observation Center said they are caused by the friction between the Philippine Plate and Eurasian Plate. EPA. Anti-North Korean protesters push against police as a ferry carrying a North Korean art troupe for the Pyeongchang 2018 Winter Olympic Games approaches the port of Mukho in Donghae. Around 120 North Korean art performers in matching red coats and fur hats left for the south, its state media said on February 6, the latest in the flurry of cross-border exchanges in the run-up to the Pyeongchang Olympics. AFP Getty. Philadelphia Eagles Nick Foles celebrates with the Vince Lombardi Trophy after winning Super Bowl 52. Reuters. Authorities investigate the scene of a fatal Amtrak train crash in Case, South Carolina. At least 2 were killed and dozens injured. The state VIRAP members of security services react as a man in the crowd tries to shake hands with French President Emmanuel Macron, who walks next to Senegalese President Macky Sall in a street of St. Louis, Senegal. Reuters. County sheriffs restrain Randall Margraves, the father of 3 daughters who were abused by Larry Nassar after he tried to attack the former Team USA gymnastics doctor who pleaded guilty in November 2017 to UAL assault charges during victim statements of his sentencing in the Eaton County Circuit Court in Charlotte, Michigan. Reuters. Abu Rabi, 65, walks through the rubble with his 8-year-old grandson Yahya following airstrikes by regime forces which hit the building where they live in Arban, in the rebel-held eastern Ghouta region on the outskirts of the Syrian capital Damascus. Arban is in the eastern Ghouta region which has been under government siege since 2013. AFP Getty Images. A supermoon shines its blood-red colors during a full eclipse above the Big A Sign of Angels Stadium in Anaheim, California. A supermoon commonly is described as a full moon at its closest distance to the Earth, with the moon appearing larger and brighter than usual. EPA. A man wears a mask among fellow supporters as Kenyan opposition leader Raila Odinga, not pictured, takes a symbolic presidential oath of office in Nairobi. Reuters. Tractors are parked outside a meeting of European Union agriculture ministers during a protest by Belgian farmers in Brussels. Reuters. Bruno Mars accepts Record of the Year for 24K Magic with his production team on stage during the 60th Annual Grammy Awards at Madison Square Garden in New York. Getty Images. 4 NARAS students with torches gather prior to a march in celebration of the 165th birth anniversary of Cuba's independence hero José Martí in Havana. Reuters. A firefighter inspects a burnt hospital after a fire in Muryang, South Korea. 37 people were killed in the fire, with the number of casualties likely to rise further. Gyeongnam Shinmun. Via Getty. Rescue workers and police officers stand near derailed trains in Pialtello, on the outskirts of Milan. Reuters. Afghan police officers take position during a blast and gunfire in Jalalabad, Afghanistan. Reuters. Workers clean the beach of the coastal town of Zouk Mosba, north of Beirut, as garbage washed up and piled along the shore after stormy weather. AFP. Getty. A Free Syrian Army soldier takes a selfie as fighters join up with Turkish troops near the Syrian border at Asa, Hatay province. Turkey shelled Kurdish militia targets in Syria and claimed progress in a cross-border offensive that has stoked concern among its allies and neighbors. Palestinians take part in a protest against aid cut outside the United Nations Relief and Works Agency (UNRWA) office in Rafah in the southern Gaza Strip. Reuters. Oscar Janicki, 6, participates in the second annual Women's March in Philadelphia. Reuters. Russian President Vladimir Putin bathes in an ice-cold water on Epiphany near St. Nicholas Stolobinsky Monastery on Lake Seliga in Svetitsa village, Russia. Thousands of Russian Orthodox Church followers will plunge into icy rivers and ponds across the country to mark Epiphany, cleansing themselves with water deemed holy for the day. Sputnik. Kremlin pool photo viral. People protest to call for a new DREAM Act to replace DACA in Los Angeles, California. Reuters. Pro-democracy activists Raphael Wong and Joshua Wong arrive at Lai Chi Kok Reception Center after they were jailed on protest-related charges following the sentencing at the High Court in Hong Kong. AFP. Getty. Skyscrapers. Oriental Pearl Tower and Jinmao Tower L are seen from the Shanghai World Financial Center on a hazy day in the financial district of Pudong in Shanghai, China. Reuters. Martin Luther King III, U.S. Secretary of the Interior and others wait to place a wreath during an event at the Martin Luther King Memorial on the National Mall. AFP. Getty. A boy stands with women loyal to the Houthi movement during a gathering held to show the support to the movement in Sana'a, Yemen. Reuters. Diego Martin Duplessis of Argentina drives his Honda during the 2018 Peru-Bolivia-Argentina Dakar Rally, 40th edition, Stage 7, La Paz to Uyuni.